This week's show brought to you by Frank Shoup, Georgetown's big name in cars. Roosters, a fun casual joint. Georgetown Advantage Air, now 100% locally owned and operated by Gene Thompson.
Welcome to the Scott County Cardinals News Graphic Coaches Show with Coach Jim McKee and Kal Oakes. Coach, another impressive night for the Cardinals last week. A convincing win over Henry Clay, and I thought a complete game for the team.
Well, you and I talked after the game, Cal, that we felt like that was probably the most complete game we played when you looked at all three phases of the game. We didn't turn the ball over. We were able to turn them over several times. We had no glaring weaknesses in the kicking game. We played pretty good in all three phases. We had a couple hiccups in the first half offensively. Our defense played great. The one pass that they got over top Sam, he's in perfect position and the ball gets knocked in the air. So you're exactly right. And let me tell you what, it's great to beat Henry Clay. It was a time here where, they used to beat up on us pretty good. And, we remember those times. We got a long memory, and it feels good to beat them 8 times in a row. And, hopefully if the next time we see them, our plan is to make it 9.
When you play the same teams like that every year,
I think we played them 23 times.
You develop that kind of feeling one way or the other, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You want to win. And, the thing is, everybody wants to be the bully. You want to be the bully of the state, or the bully of the nation, or the king, or the in charge. But if you're not the neighborhood bully first, you can't be anything other than that. And so our number one goal every year is to beat the local teams. And so when our fans go to the Fayette Mall for Christmas break and they got on a Scott County football shirt, they got that chest stuck out and they're proud. When our guys go to a basketball game this winter, a district tournament, they're proud. It was my 47th birthday today, so Lawson got a walker. And so they think that's funny. That's good. I need it. I need a walk. I'm in better shape than you, Cal. Well, those guys, they think that's funny. They can get on TV. But no, that's what you want to do, and that's what we want to do. That's really our number one goal, is to be the best team in the area.
You keep all these milestones a pretty good secret. You kept the birthday a good secret. You kept the 200 wins a pretty good secret.
One of my sons put something on social media about it, like happy birthday to my dad, and that's how they found out. No, I wouldn't say anything about that. I think the toughest thing is when you're in a position like this, it's just like your job. People are going to criticize your articles. You had any calls yet?
Not yet, but they'll come.
It's coming. It's coming. All right. And my favorite ones are when you get the pictures, when you all get the pictures in there. The way you can always tell that it's a parent, do you know how it is? Photos submitted.
You're on to something right there.
Photos
you got
submitted.
This all figured out.
I'm saying they're proud of their kids. And so they want to but I get my point is, when you're in a position like this, if you're a sports editor or a coach, you're going to have a lot of people that are going to have these theories on how you ought to handle things. And you have to do whatever you think is, in my case, I do whatever I think is absolutely best for the individual kid involved and the team as a whole, irregardless of what anybody else feels about that. And that's our challenge, is to stay on top of that. And so the personal accolades, I won 200 games. I didn't win anything. We've got good players, good coaches, good facilities. The principal wants to win. The superintendent wants to win. They just, did you see the article, $1.4 million for turf and a new track? We want to win. And that's the focus. The focus is the team and winning. And while the birthdays are nice, and I'm blessed to be 47, and I'm happy to be a part of winning 200 games. That's a lot better than losing 200. My decisions are based on what's best for the individual, what's best for the team.
As a coach, being around long enough to win 200 games is the big key, just getting people to buy in, getting kids to buy in. It's a different generation now than 20 years ago.
You have to be careful what you say. When I sit down and talk to a parent, I'll have a parent who'll be upset for whatever reason, 1,000 reasons. You know, my thing is I listen to him talk to me a little bit, and I always ask him, you know, how would you feel if I sat down with you and gave you my advice on how you should parent? How would that go over? And it wouldn't go over very good, would it? And so I think the biggest difference, and I'm one of them too, is just kids are still very much the same. Society is a little different. And I believe that in some cases we're maybe a little quicker to jump and run interference for our children. And I think that's the key, is getting kids to totally buy in. You know, if you are gonna make this show great, you know, the camera guy's got to buy in. It can't be just on whenever it suits him. And, you know, you got to be provided the resources to do it. I think maybe that's the only difference with kids, is it's a little tougher to get that total 100% buy-in from kid and parent, that I'm behind Coach McKee and his staff, and I'm going to trust what they're going to do.
But we change as people. I mean, no matter what business we're in, you're a different coach at 47 than you were at 37,
Better.
at 27, yeah. I mean, you approach things differently.
And a lot of what changed that is my own kids.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, all of a sudden I realized, hey, wait a minute, everybody's somebody's kid. And I think the other thing that's changed and made me better is, you know, I'll give you an example. If a student is at school every day for 9 weeks, and he's got 4 or 5 Fs. 15 or 20 years ago, we would probably say, what would we say? The kid needs to pick it up and try harder. I think the mindset change is where I've changed as a coach is, okay, wait a minute, the kid's been to practice every day. He's been to practice every day for 9 weeks. My coaches have had him for 2.5 hours. We have access to film him, to show him his film, to grade him, to play in games, and he's still flunking what we want him to do.
So what can we do to help him out?
We got to do a better job. I think that's a little bit of a change in me as a coach. Where 20 years ago, I'm like, come on, Cal.
Pick it up.
Pick it up. Want it more. Hit him harder. And now all of a sudden it's like, well, wait a minute. Kid's been here every day and he's still got a 51 in my class. I maybe ought to change what I'm doing. I think that's been a change.
Talking about rivals and schools that you want to beat, this week you play Bryan Station, another school, and we've talked about them in the past. Their tradition in football is pretty steep. I mean, any school that's given you Demonte Dawson, Mark Logan, people of that nature, I mean, it's something you got to take seriously, no matter what era we're in.
Well, and they just beat us 2 years ago up there, and I tell you who's doing a good job is their staff. You know, Coach Parks, I don't know them all, but their staff is doing a good job. They, over the last 2 years, you know, they lost the Clatts, the Andre Davises, the Devin Keys, the C.J. Walkers, you know, the Marcus Floyds, the Big Nose Man. You know, the Big Nose Man, I can't believe I can't think of his name. Pop right to me, but the Big Nose Man is down playing a bunch at Wofford. You know, they've lost some really, really good football players over the last 2 years, and they're better this year than I thought they would be. Their coaches have done a good job putting those kids in a position to be successful, and they're better than I thought they would be.
Got a pretty good quarterback.
They got a pretty good quarterback. I mean, his dad played in the NFL. Got a pretty good quarterback. I don't know the running back's name, but you're going to be impressed with him. I don't know where they get their tackles from, but they got big, huge, monstrous tackles on a yearly basis. So it won't be easy by any stretch. We got to take care of the ball and limit their big plays, and we'll be fine. But if we turn it over, we could have problems.
As a quarterback, Burbage, is he kind of give you some of the same problems that Walker Wood might, with his ability to make plays happen, move around back there?
Yeah, those are the tough ones, aren't they? You know, the guys that now in the NFL you can make a living with the drop back passer, you know, because you've got the receivers and the protection. But you know, the protection schemes in high school, not everybody can two platoon. Sometimes you're working with the left guard who's playing linebacker, and people are bringing pressures that they don't get picked up. But when a kid can move around back there, it makes him tough. Now, is he as good as Walker Wood right now? I mean, no. But does he look a lot like what Walker Wood looked like when he was in the 10th grade? Absolutely. I'm impressed with the kid. And, you know, I've gotten to know his dad. I've met his mom. He's close to Cade's age, so they've played some basketball and different sports against each other growing up. And, you know, I like the kind of kid he is as much as the kind of quarterback he is.
the first time we've all gone on the road in 6 weeks. That's a little
Is
different.
it really?
A little different.
Let's see, when was the last road
I
game?
think that was Fort Thomas.
Yeah, wow.
So,
I mean, is there any way we can not go?
at least it's a nice short trip, right?
It is.
How does it affect your
It is
planning, your
different. I mean,
schedule,
that's no
different routine?
excuse. Yeah, absolutely. You got a routine. I mean, I don't know what you drink coffee in the morning, or or read the newspaper, or I bet you got certain websites you get on. I do. I get on ESPN college football website every day. I get on USA Today Sports main page every day. I check my bank balance. I mean, I got a few things.
See how bad my fantasy football team's getting clobbered.
Yeah, and in my case, see how low my bank balance is. But I mean, and so it's nicer to play at home because we've got a set of stuff. We want to meet with the offense at this time and the defense at this time and the special teams film, do the different things that we have to do. And it compresses it a little bit. And Clay's still mad at me because, we lost our 20-something game win streak against Lexington Schools against Bryan Station when he was a senior, and we got up there late. We got in that traffic right around the UK farm. We're going down the interstate right where you go by the UK farm. We get caught in a bunch of traffic, and so like when we get there, it's race. And we didn't start the game off very well. So we're going to leave a little bit earlier this week and hopefully get there in plenty of time.
That's Friday night at 7:30 at Bryan Station. He's Coach McKee. We talked.
One more thing, Cal, if I can have another minute. Just I want to take an opportunity to thank all of the people that work behind the scenes to make the program go. Like David Higgs, who probably won't ever see this show, but has those horns. Tim Ward, who's over here, that's what made me think of it, over here working with the kickers at 6:30 on a Tuesday night. The freshman coaches, the cheerleaders, the people that are working out there in the concession stand, the lady man in the parking. It's not the University of Kentucky. We don't have an athletic staff that has X number of fully time paid people. We have to have a volunteer to sell the parking signs and set them all up. So just all the people that make our program what it is. And I hope at the end of the day that everybody that's associated with this program, whether parent, fan, player, coach, is proud to pull this stuff on and wear it in this community and say they represent our school and our team.
And they've won 200 games as much as the coach has.
100%.
A lot of players, past and present, have gone into that. Let's see how a couple of the current players, what they think about last week's game and this week's contest as well.
Scott County's defensive backs have stepped it up in recent weeks.
The D-line played really well. We got good pressure on the quarterback, and the DBs played really well in the back. There's only one big play that we missed, and it was a jump ball. It got tipped. He got lucky he caught it.
Coach Monty just told me to pick up my body language and make a difference and go make a play and to make it up. And so I was just trying my best to do that.
We had to replace, I think, 10 starters from the defense last year. So it took us time to get tougher and learn our defense and how we play and how Coach Monty wants us to play.
I think we've really just grown up, and early in the year we were really young. We only had one starting defensive player back from last year, and it just takes time to get Friday night, get all that in. So.
Bryan Station poses challenges for Scott County with its potent passing attack.
They pass the ball a lot more than pretty much anybody we played. We haven't even really practiced much running, so.
I feel like we gotta be able to play the deep pass really well, stop the zip screen and swing pass to the running back, and it'll be a big blowout win.
We prepare hard for every game, but especially for Lexington teams and district teams. We want to make this 9 out of 10 years we win the district.
The players are proud and grateful to have been part of Coach McKee's 200th win.
I know I've been around Scott County football for 17 years, and I've seen most of the 200 wins, and I'm glad I was a part for 4 years to get to the 200.
Just playing for Scott County, wearing that across your chest, it's the greatest feeling out there. And winning obviously comes with that.
1, 2, 3.
Laser, Coco! Good.